suppose we're live. Hey, it's Craig with Anchor Foundation Repair, and I am here live for the first time ever. I want to talk about a home that I don't often get to inspect. I honestly have no idea how many of y'all are going to be watching this live, but I just thought I've got an opportunity to show something in a house that I don't normally get to see, and it'd be worthwhile to explain a lot of the things, the terms and not terms, but the terms that we use. The things that we see in a crawl space home. So with that being said, I'm going to turn the camera around so you get to see this a little bit better. I hope my orientation is correct. But here's what we got. Normally when I'm looking at a home, again, this is a foundation repair company's perspective. I know that there are several that probably watch this that are in the trades, and they often get to see a home that's just totally gutted, either being built new construction or being totally remodeled. In this case, since we're repairmen, usually we get to come inside a finished home. There's floors, there's walls, there's doors, there's ceilings, there's finish counters, bathrooms, everything else. And in this case, it's not that way. And I thought a good opportunity just to explain, because I can see up high, I can see wall studs, and I can see low, the crawl space. I thought it'd be effective to kind of explain this. So what we have in Iola, Texas is an old kind of long, deep home that is really only about 24 feet from left wall to right wall. I'm going to start on this left-hand side and just explain what we've got. There's some debris left around here because construction or remodeling is still going on. But what you have right below that exterior wall is a 6x6 line of sill or beam. You could call it either one. Right in the center, we also have a 6x6 line of sill running front to back on the home. You can't see it here because of the stacked shiplap, but it is there, and it goes all the way to that back door right through the middle. All right, continuing across to the right-hand side, hopefully not falling down because there's no floor here, is again another 6x6 line of sill. It is held up by poured-in-place concrete piers, just like that. Now on the front wall, I thought this was kind of interesting. Let me note the difference here. The floor joists run on top of this sill, and then above that is this bottom plate right through here, and then on top of that bottom plate is wall studs going all the way up to the ceiling and the roof. Now on the front wall, this is non-standard, but typically what we see is this line of sill on this front wall would actually extend all the way across. You can see these studs have a little bit of overlap right here. And you can see it again right through there. Normally, you'll have one extra joist or two extra joists, more appropriately, underneath these wall studs. And then on top of this joist would also be a bottom plate. So the configuration will look exactly the same here. Now this is slightly different. I don't care for that overhang. I don't think it's gonna be a deal breaker. Sometimes in old homes, that's just the way they did that. All right, getting back on task here, talking about the next component that we see. These are floor joists. I'm gonna hold it a little bit of an angle. 2x8 floor joist, measured this way, laid vertically. Floor joists take the span from this interior line of sill and carry it all the way across to that exterior line of sill. Typical for our area is a 2x6 floor joist, but I like these. They're big, strong, thick 2x8 floor joists. You can tell they've been doubled up here because the originals have nail holes. They've been kind of chewed up on over the years. And so the contractors, the remodelers' first choice was to go ahead and not replace, but double that up. And you have an extra line of pressure treated pine floor joist right here. All right, that's about a 2-foot spacing on center from new floor joist to new floor joist. Might be a little bit far. Typically what we're gonna see on a newer home is gonna be 16 inches, but this is, again, just the way they did it back then. Now, there's all sorts of framing guidelines which will tell you what size joist you need to span this distance of about 12 feet. 2x8 typically is gonna be okay, certainly at the time of construction, but in time I would expect that these floors sag just a little bit and that there's gonna be a little bit of loose, bouncy feeling. If you've listened to or watched some of our videos before or read some of our articles online, we like to span that distance underneath with a new line of sill underneath these floor joists, which is called a shaker sill. And that shaker sill is designed to take the shake or the bounce out of floors. In this case, it's not here. And there is 2x8 blocking between existing floor joists from here to there. Now that blocking should be spaced every 4 to 6 feet on center, and it does go from about 6 feet from this section of blocking all the way across to where these floor joists are meeting over here on that center line of sill. That blocking is designed to do two things. Designed to prevent uplift or downlift deflection of the floor joist. Also designed to prevent, let me go right here. Right here would be a little bit of twisting, warping, bending, or flexing. So that's what that blocking is for. It can also obviously be used to help secure subfloor on top of that. So nothing wrong with this configuration. We'll see. We'll see how long this holds up this way. And down the road, it could be 20 years, could be 30 years or more. There might be, these floor joists might get a little bit sagged, a little bit tired in here, depends on the furniture configuration a lot of times. And it might be beneficial to add a new line of sill underneath these floor joists to help keep the bounce or the shakes out. Now that's floor joists. Floor joists are also, they're designed to carry the weight from sill to sill. The next thing that they do is support subfloor. This is not a piece of subfloor. It is simply just a ramp to get from front door all the way to the back of the home. And it's here just temporarily. So very thin, very lightweight. I'm also seeing a scrap piece of OSB over there. You've really got two options, at least in our area for new construction, that makes sense to install here. Preferably would be either a tongue and groove plywood subfloor that's gonna be really strong, really tight, and gonna lock in your subfloor so it feels good. The alternative option would be a pressure treated pine 3/4 inch subfloor. I know there's some concerns out there with pressure treated pine material. I'm neither here nor there on it, except when we've got a home that's low to the ground. It's got poor drainage, poor ventilation. What I really like to do is see pressure treated pine material. It's gonna hold up to wood rot, dry rot much longer, and certainly be a deterrent for termites as they want to chew through everything around or underneath the crawl space. Now, what I certainly don't like, I want to go back to this OSB over here. I certainly don't like to see this on homes at all. Again, this is just a scrap piece. This is not going to be the subfloor material, but this is just garbage for anything exterior. Anything exterior would, in my world, include the crawl space. I have seen so many floors, subfloors, and foundations, crawl spaces destroyed when OSB is used because this is just, you know, little pieces of shavings and everything else glued and compressed together to keep it in a sheet panel type configuration. I'll tell you, it doesn't hold up to moisture. It's going to swell. It's going to absorb that moisture a lot and going to rot out a whole lot quicker than glued and pressed sheets of plywood, especially when they're treated. So subfloor then rest on top of these floor joists. It's all interlocked together. Then at that point, you get to run with what you got. Any type of flooring, you could go on top of that. Pier and beam construction, not a fan of seeing tile in a home like this because I just guarantee it's gonna crack at some point. But if you need to do tile in a small area, like over here in a bathroom, totally okay. You can usually prevent cracking in tile for small areas like that, especially if you're doing proper floor prep. Other flooring choices would be a hardwood type floor. You could do a glue down or a floating LVP, luxury vinyl plank type floor. Carpet, obviously, the world is your oyster at this point. You get to pick whatever makes sense for you. Now I'm gonna, halfway through the home here, I'm gonna pause right in the center. Again, if you remember the orientation, we've got a line of sill on that exterior wall over there. 24 feet across, we've got a line of sill on that exterior wall. And again, right in the middle, 12 feet away, we have a line of 6x6 sill running towards that back door. What you notice here is that sill runs exactly right in the middle of this hallway. Now, that's gonna be fine, time of construction, time of remodel, gonna be no issues. It's framed for doors on both sides. There's gonna be walls put up, drywall, and it's gonna look great. When this is all done, it's gonna look great. But I almost guarantee that in time, the weight of these walls is gonna come down, especially this one being load bearing. And the weight of this wall is gonna come down, and it's gonna do a couple things. One, doors, when they are installed, will start to pinch, start to have some resistance, won't lock, latch, or close as they should. That's gonna be issue number one. Issue number two, as this wall comes down, there's also gonna be cracks running off a diagonal from that door opening. That's an annoyance when you got a brand new or a nicely remodeled home and you start to get cracks in there. And number three, is likely as this wall wants to sink down, and then in time, this wall will also sink. You're gonna have a ridge, a hump, a high spot right in the middle of that hallway, also a hot mess. And depending on the type of floor there, it can mess up your floor. So preferential to a sill right in the center, and I understand why it's constructed here. This is the way they built the home. What I also like to see when we have walls on either side that are not supported, you can tell right below there is just dirt. There is no line of sill like there is in the center. And on this hallway wall, there is no line of sill either. What we really like to see is a line of hallway wall sill. In this case, it's gonna go right from this wall opening all the way to the back of the home. And it's gonna carry the weight of this load-bearing wall all the way to the perimeter, the back wall of the home. That's gonna really provide a lot of support here, gonna prevent this wall from sagging, gonna prevent a master bedroom door from pinching right here in the future, and gonna prevent wall cracks. Now, we're gonna install it under this wall because it completely, absolutely makes sense. This wall would be a little bit nice to have, maybe not need to have, but while we're here, while you're doing the work, you might as well go ahead and install an extra 12-foot line of sill from this wall all the way across to where the first one started, right on this wall opening as it comes back into this nice, big, eventually nice, big living room. I think, really, that's all I wanted to discuss about this home. Like I said, it's not often, one, that I've been in front of a camera, so here we are. Y'all get to see me finally on YouTube. It's not often that I get to look at a home and see everything from top down to bottom. And I thought in this case, because I can see everything, there's some terms that we use. Well, I'm kind of close there. There's some terms that we use in explaining how to work on a foundation or a crawl space in this case. And I thought it'd be effective in one little video to explain what some of that is. Now, in your world, maybe it's not a foundation repair guy or company that works on homes like this. Maybe it's carpenter, maybe it's framer, maybe it's a trim guy, maybe it's a handyman, maybe it's a mason. I don't know. In our neck of the woods, usually it's framers that do all the stuff above the walls, and then foundation repair guys, just like us, we do the stuff in that crawl space. Either way, the work can be done. It just takes a little bit of understanding of where the weight is in a home like this and how you not only need to support it to build and construct and remodel, but also what you need to do for long-term stability. Our soil is very expansive here. It's gonna move, it's gonna shrink and swell between winter and summer, and we wanna provide good long-term stability to it. So not only would the guys that you have in your area be different, but maybe the terms that you use might be different as well. So in the comments below, if you don't like the terms that I'm using and if you got something else, by all means share those. I'm always interested in learning what else is done out there, not just in the US, but across the world, how construction's done, best practices, best techniques, and things to do to not only build a home the right way, but support and repair a home the right way so that homeowners in your area, where we are, we like long-term positive results for our homeowners and their homes, and this is just a simple way to explain it. Hope you all have a great day. No one live yet, but some point we'll do more of these lives and maybe get somebody in here commenting real time and I can provide feedback. In the meantime, hope this was helpful for y'all.